Hey, Shalom. I would like to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Hey, this is the brother Yakanan from the GMS Houston camp, and this is just a quick lesson going into the Hebrew alphabet and the 12 tribes. And I remember when I was first coming into the camp, there was an elder brother named Yakana, and we used to get to camp like how my schedule was like I could get off work. I worked throughout the day, and then at a certain time I could get off or whatever like that on Fridays. And pretty much once I got off work, I would just catch the bus to go downtown, and just I would either go find something to do downtown, or whichever, for a certain period of time until brothers started rolling in. And one of the brothers, the elder brother Yakana, who went back to the spiritual realm, um, I believe, what is it? I wasn't there. I was outside I was put out of the camp for the time being, so I wasn't around when he went back to the spiritual realm. But it happened when I was gone, and it just came up. The lesson for this just came up. Last night, a few brothers and myself were, speaking of, good works, and how the elder brother Yakana had good works, and nobody had anything. At least none of us in this camp have anything bad to say about him, and that he was a very diligent brother. But this is just, anyway, Salakia, this is coming back. I remember, one of the assignments that we were given was to memorize the 12 tribes in the alphabet. And the brother would get there. You would be one of the early brothers to get there before camp. So occasionally I would talk to him, since we would be the first ones there. And I was telling him how I was having trouble remembering. I could remember the alphabet, but I would have a hard time remembering the 12 tribes. And it wouldn't be like I don't know them, but certain things, like it's just hard to remember. It's a lot of information, but over time you get it. But the brother, or the elder brother, had showed me how I remember he's saying how he remembers the 12 tribes is that he'll go through the alphabet, the Lashawan Kodash, the Paleo Hebrew alphabet, and he'll go through, as you see here on the lower half of the screen, or lower portion of the screen, that I have the Paleo Hebrew alphabet, going from, really it's from right to left, but I have it going from right and then going down, descending. So let me see what I can do here. I'll try to, let's see. I'll try to number it. So from right to left, this will be 1, 2, and 3 in the order that I'm going to read it in these columns. So what he told me was that he would go down the alphabet, and each one, like for instance, he would think of what tribes start with and then go down what tribes start with Ba, what tribes start with Ga, Da, Ha. And to make it easy, a little bit easy, the Lord willing, this is edifying, that as you go down the list of all the letters, each tribe would fall into one of these letters, so to help you remember it, as you're going, like, oh, no tribe. I mean, that, like for Da, for instance, the tribe of Dan, but in the book of Revelation, when the 144,000 are listed, Dan is not listed, so I'm not going to be, counting that in this lesson. you know. And then also you have the tribe of Joseph, which is really two tribes. You have Ephraim and Manasseh, but then in the scriptures, when you hear about the tribe of Joseph, like in Obadiah 1:18, it'll say, oh, let me double check. I can't remember if it says Joseph or Ephraim, Slovakia, but this is good. You have the internet, you have all this to double check your information. So, if I hate these computers and whatnot, these little tablet phones. Okay, Joseph. So Obadiah 1:18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. So Jacob representing, the southern tribes, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and Joseph representing the northern tribes, Ephraim, Manasseh, and the rest of the tribes. But the point being here is that Joseph is representing, the northern tribes. And then Ephraim, if Ephraim is listed, depending on the context, when Ephraim is listed, it's speaking of like the northern tribes as well. It's used interchangeably because here Ephraim became the head tribe, which is Salaki. I'm kind of jumping around all over the place, but still, Lord willing, is edifying. And this is one of the memories I have of the elder brother, of just a little bit, like just something that the world would take as insignificant, like just a memorization technique. The water Yahweh Shemi Shai, for sending that brother, and it's just something like in this truth, like small things, small things that brothers do for each other. Like how Yahweh Shai said, you gave me a cold drink, a cold cup of water, just that. It seemed insignificant, but it's really not. It's showing that your love that you have for one another, no matter how insignificant that it seems. And just moving on. So, where was I? I think I got to go back on this page. Okay. And Salaki, for how this looks, if I was saying I hate how this is set up, because if I move any one of these, if I move this here, it doesn't do anything. But if I move it any further, it's gonna mess up the bottom tab. But shoot, forget it. Okay, it didn't do it that bad. So how about Shemi? Because before I tried to move it, like it completely messed up the bottom, the Paleo Hebrew alphabet. So give me a second here. Salaki, kind of all over the place. But this is Genesis chapter 48 and verse 5, and this is when Jacob, our forefather Jacob, of the father, the patriarch of the 12 tribes of Israel, was blessing Joseph's sons. So Genesis 48 and verse 5, and now thy two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto thee in the land of Egypt, before I came unto thee into Egypt, are mine, as Reuben and Simeon are mine. They are as Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine. And thy issue, which thou begettest after them, shall be thine, and shall be called after thy name. Oh, so let me jump down. I'm sorry. And thy issue, which thou begettest after them, shall be thine, and shall be called after the name of their brethren and their inheritance. So, let me jump down. Genesis 48 and verse 9, and Joseph said unto his father, I'm sorry, let me jump up, verse verse 8, Genesis 48 and 8. And Israel beheld Joseph's sons and said, Who are these? And Joseph said unto his father, They are my sons, whom the Most High have given me in this place. And he said, Bring them, I pray thee, unto me, and I will bless them. Now the eyes of Israel were dim for age, so that he could not see. And he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them, and embraced them. And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, the Most High hath showed me also thy seed. It was beautiful. Because it's lucky. This is our history, you know. This is get me kind of a little overwhelmed, whatever. Because when you're reading this history, this account, you know, this whole time that Joseph had been gone, Jacob thought he was dead, or Israel thought he was dead. You know, he thought he was, dead, and it was his son from Rachel, you know, his favorite wife, you know, and just what Israel said to the Pharaoh, my days have been short and full of evil, you know, but just to know that his son was alive and that he had sons, like, and it's like it. Continue on. Verse 12, and Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and he bowed himself with his face to the earth. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand toward Israel's right hand, and brought them near unto him. And Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hands wittingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. So let me continue reading. And he blessed Joseph and said, the Most High, before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the power which fed me all my life long unto this day, the angel which redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads, and let my name be named on them, and the Almighty of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. And when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him, and he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head onto Manasseh's head. Why? Because Manasseh was the firstborn, but what Israel is doing was of the spirit, you know. So how it should have been done, you know, technically on paper or whatever, how the tradition had been passed down, the firstborn gets the blessing, you know. But in the spirit, you know, how Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai had, you know, Israel to do it, it was of the spirit. You know, Ephraim is getting the blessing. Verse 18, and Joseph said unto his father, not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon his head. And his father refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it. He said, I know. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of nations. Speaking of Ephraim, going into his name, Aparium goes into fruitful, double. Make sure I am fruitful. Going into it, you know, he's going to be multiplied. He's going to be fruitful, bountiful. But that was just a quick, you know, when you see the tribe of Joseph, it's referring to Ephraim. You know, or it could be referring to the northern tribes, because Ephraim was the head of the northern tribes. So continuing on, Salakia for being long-winded. This is Revelation chapter 7 and verse 4, going into the 144,000. The 144,000, the elect of the elect. These are going to be Israelites, as it's going to name. These aren't spiritual Israelites. These aren't just people that converted to Christ. No, in order for you to be a true Christian or Mashiachim, which means anointed, you have to be an Israelite. You have to be born of one of the 12 tribes. There is no spiritual thing. It goes by your father's house. What tribe your father came from, that's your tribe. So Revelation 7 and 4, and the subheader says the 144,000. And I heard the number of them which were sealed. And there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. So right here it says the tribe of Joseph again. But let's see. Let me go back up. See, Manasseh is already named. But this right here, this tribe of Joseph, that's a placeholder for Ephraim, who became the head of that tribe. So he would represent Joseph. Let's see. Let him add. Let me see what it says. Just here real quick in the. It says here the patriarch, the 11th son of Jacob. So it doesn't say right here, necessarily, but you need the spirit because it came. It's a placeholder. The tribe of Joseph, that's a placeholder for Ephraim. Ephraim, a placeholder for the tribe of Joseph. But going back, looking at the alphabet real quick. Let's get this. So right here, column 1, I'm going to put this back up. Oops. Let me see if it's this column 1 starting right here. That's A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Cha, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Taza, Kwa, Ra, Sha, Da. And you see I have different letters highlighted, right? So what we're going to do, or what I'm going to do, is go through alphabetically how the elder brother had showed me. And we're also going to go, I'm going to switch from here. I'm going to go to the Paleo, or it's called the HebrewOldTestament.com. And then you can also put in, if you ever type it, I always forget it's Hebrew Old Testament, but what I put in there is parallel Hebrew Old Testament. And I just put it into Google, and this is the one that'll pop up. And this is a pretty interesting, website, because it shows, it has the Assyrian script, it says modern Hebrew, it has the Paleo Hebrew. So for people that say like, oh, you're just making it up, Paleo Hebrew or Phoenician or Lashawan Kodash, we're not just making stuff up, whatever. But hey, these heathen, they're gonna do whatever they do. They're gonna say we're lying. They're gonna say we're not telling the truth, whatever. But hey, if you don't believe it, And we're not forcing you to believe any of this. If you don't believe this, if you just think I'm making up writing or whatever, or that we're making it up, you know, that's fine. Hey, go about your business. Let me. If this be of men, it'll come to naught. You ain't got to worry about it. So continuing, let me see here. Let me set this up. So we're going to switch that to black, and let me see. Let me scroll that down a little bit. We're gonna go with ah. That's what we're gonna start it with ah. And so where we're at, Genesis 35, when the 12 tribes were named, or not when they're named, but it gives you the really the backstory, or not the backstory, but it gives you who their mothers were. Whether it was Leah, Rachel, the two servants, and the tribes. So right here, I'm going to read this in the King James just to get because the way this verse is set up, it's split into, it's one verse, but it should be, this should be a separate verse, really, just speaking as a man. But Genesis chapter 35 and 22, and it came to pass when Israel dwelt in that land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. And that was the point right there. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. So Jacob had 12 sons. And jumping down, this is the next one, verse 23. So the King James, it says, the sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and Simeon and Levi and Judah and Issachar and Zebulun. And so since I'm looking for I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna just scroll down until I find the So the sons of Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin. And then what is it? The sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid, Dan and Naphtali, right? And then also, what is it? The sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, Gad and Asher. So right there's Asher. And Salaki, this is long-winded. Oops. So Asher, which means happy. Right? Next, while it's not in this chapter, but we were just looking at Ephraim. So we're going to go to this next tab. And this is kind of how I study. I got a bunch of tabs open. I go back and forth, cross-reference information, check it out. I might look at the Hebrew word. I might look at the Greek word. I might start looking at etymologies. I might start looking at other stuff. I might just start, writing the alphabet or something like that. But this is like how you study in the scriptures, how you study with the spirit ain't the same way that you study in school where everything is just mapped out and laid out. This is the Heavenly Father that gives you the knowledge that while you still need structure and everything like that, but this is just what you got to do sometimes to learn something. You got to go back and forth, look at notes, cross-reference, ruminate on certain information. You have to be patient with it because keep in mind with this, you learning, you're supping with the Lord, you're eating with the Lord, so the meal is there. However you want to go about eating it. If you want to start with the bread first, or drink the milk first, or what you need, the milk, the very basics, but however, whatever you eat first, if you're still eating that whole meal, You know, that's how you do it. You know, but not to get too far, but this is Genesis 48:5 again, but I'm just looking at, I know I just read it, but I'm just going back for this website so I can see the Paleo Hebrew before 585 BC. So in this verse it says, now thy two sons, Genesis 48:5 in the KJV, and now thy two sons Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto thee in the land of Egypt, before I came unto thee into Egypt, are mine, as Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine. But see right here, it says Ephraim, right? Oh, it starts with an E. But no, when you look at it in the Paleo Hebrew, and it's going to be kind of down here at the bottom. I just went through the alphabet, and see right there, and I can't really highlight it because what this is it's not actual text, it's an image. So right here, you can't really see my hand, but you see the it's right there in the middle of the screen. Pa, Ra, Yum. So since I'm here in the A or in the that would be another So this also helps because when you're reading, in the scriptures, KJV, whatnot, you're seeing a transliteration. It might not be actually how it's spelled in Paleo Hebrew. So here you have pa, and you gotta forgive me. I'm drawing. It's like I'm drawing in the dirt, but I kind of like this. Pa, Ra, Yum. It's lucky. Pa, Ra, Yum, which means I am fruitful. So let me scroll this up and separate that. I am fruitful. Right? So that's all for the A. You know, just going on, moving on to the next letter. Ba. Oops. And then when you see, like, this is a part of your history, the alphabet, everything like that. Like, I like everything about our culture, our history. You have um, a very rich culture, very rich history, to where when you see the pottery, the work, the writing that were around, and you see like, wow, that's beautiful. Like that's ours. Like this whole time you've been told that you don't have nothing, you'll never be nothing. You came from the deepest, darkest jungles. You were savages, whatever. Meanwhile, you're Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai's people. When I just read that Revelation 7, that wasn't talking about there's going to be 12,000 from Amalek. There's going to be 12,000 from one of the tribes of Moab. There's going to be 12,000. No, it was 144,000 from the 12 tribes of Israel. 12,000 from every tribe. But anyway, Salakia, this is Ba. And I'm going back to this one here. So we're going to go back up. We're going to look for Benjamin. So that was Gad. That was Asher. What's this next verse? That's something that's going into something else. So we're going back up. Let me see. The sons of, that's Asher. Okay, keep going. Dan and Naphtali. Okay. Going back to the sons of Rachel, Joseph and Benjamin. So now we're looking at Benjamin. Ba. So right here, the tribe that Paul came from. So right here, we're looking at it. It says Ban Yaman. And I've seen, different variations of how it's spelled. Banyam. I can't remember, but we'll just stick with that for right now. Banyam. Yeah, Banyaman. I can't remember how it's just tripping me up seeing it, but I've seen it spelled like different variations of it. So Bond. Oh, I'm sorry. Bond. Yeah. Mon. So Banyaman, and it means son of the right. Let me scroll this up a little bit. Son. Oops. So son of the right. That's Ba. The next letter, as we're going down the list. Oops. Oh, it looks like scroll. That's about as far as I thought this was an infinite scrolling thing. That's fine. That's fine. We'll do it like this. Because there's only so many letters. It's a cool thing about technology. You can just do that, move it around. Let's go. Oh, I guess that's a other thing. It kind of just, you know what? No, it's okay. I should probably clear it out, but we'll see what I can do. So next is Ga, and that's what we're looking for. Gad. So we're gonna go back and look around for this for Gad, and that's pretty much how it looks, how it's spelled. So let's see here. And Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, Gad, and Asher, these are the sons of Jacob. Okay, so Gad, we're gonna go back up. See right here, it says Gad, and that's troop. All right. Oops. There it goes. Keep forgetting, man. I feel like I'm an old man now. This technology is just, I don't know. I don't know anymore. I'm sure it's very simple to the younger generation. Oh, that's a mess. Hold on. I can just leave it right there. That's fine. You can stay where you're at. So next, the next letter. So in that list I read in Revelation 7, of the 144,000, there is no da. There is no Dan isn't listed there. So we're gonna skip over da. The next letter is za, which would be a Z, and that's, let's see here, Zebulon. So we're gonna come back up, look for Zebulon. right there, verse 23. So where are we at? So right there you see Ra'awaban, Wa Shemaiwan, Wa Lawoya, Wa Yahawada, Wa Yashashkar, and there it is at the end. Zabal, Zabal, Zabalawan, Zabalawan, Zebulon. So you have Za. Let me get this up a little more. Za. That's not a yod. Za, Ba, La, Wan, which means dwelling. And each one of these names, like it'll go through when you, it'll tell you um in the accounts like what each name means. You can also go look at the Strongs, but it'll tell you when they were born the meaning of each of their names. So dwelling. Let's see here. Let me shrink this down. And that's Za. And I'll put this next to here down here. So what's next? Ya. Ya singles. I'm just Salakia. Ya. And there's a few tribes that begin with Ya. So we're gonna get it since I'm already in this verse. We're gonna get, where is it? Yahawada. Ya, ha, wa, da, ha. And when you see it in English, it'll say Judah, the tribe of Judah. But when you're looking at the name Yahawada, it means Ya, oops, Ya, ha, wa, which is the name of the Heavenly Father. Slakia. Yahweh, oops, I'm about to write it again. Yahweh, thanks. And so when you hear the tribe of Yahweh or whatever, that tribe is literally means giving thanks to Yahweh. Yahweh da. You know, and that's the head tribe of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's the tribe that our Lord Yahweh came from. The scriptures say the scepter shall not depart from Judah. Let me see. It's lucky. I might be getting a little. Okay. Nope. Let me move it. Move this up. Didn't mean to do that. This thing isn't like you gotta use both fingers. I'm an old man. I guess it'd be easier to just use a mouse and a keyboard. But we're gonna shrink that down. Move it over here. Let me also shrink this down a little. Shrink that bad boy down. That way you can see it. So there's order. I'm just moving this stuff so I can get in order so it doesn't look so cluttered. And clutter kind of annoys me. But that's what we got here. And Salaki, I'll get, Lord willing, it'll get better at this. It'll be more organized. Only got a few minutes left, but I only got a few more letters left. So what we can do like this, now that there's more room, and we're at Yah, right? We only have a few more letters to go. Matter of fact, I wasn't even done with Yah. So the next, oops, let me do this again. Come on, there it goes. Let's go to split screen. So we left off at Yahweh, and we're going to go to Issachar. That's the next one. Issachar, right there, right there. Yashash Kar. So the next one under Yah would be Issachar. Oops. I don't know why the color changed. Yah. Shah. Shah. Ka. Forgive me this. Ka. Ra. So right there, Yashashkar, that is, he is hired. He is hired. So Yashashkar, shrink that bad boy down. Let me see the next one. Which you also had Yawasop. I know that was just listed. So I'll put that anyway because it listed, you know, Yawasop, even though it's referring to Ephraim. So let me see. Right here, you see it. Yawasop. Yeah. Oops. Yeah. That's too big. Yeah. Wa. Sa. Let me try to write more straight. Kind of. Ya. Wa. Sa. Sa. And then here pa. And you, if you writing and reading Paleo Hebrew, there's a few letters that look similar, like the da and the ra are very, similar, easy to get mixed up. The pa and the ga are easy to get mixed up too. But just remember, the ga looks more like a 7, and the pa looks more curved. Yeah, what's up? And that's ugly. That's fine. Yahweh Sop, meaning Yahweh adds. Right? So that should be it for Yah. And let's go where we at now. Now it's Ma. That's the Ma. Which, forgive me that. Oops. It looks like an M. And you'll notice a lot of the Paleo Hebrew alphabet, it looks like the Greek, the modern alphabet. And that's because that's what it is. It's just flipped around. Some letters are rotated, some are mirrored or whatever like that, but it's the same idea, same concept. And a few letters are added. It shows you there's nothing new under the sun. So right here, Manasseh, we're going to go back to Genesis 48, and right there in that same verse 5, and where did it say Manasseh? So right here, right next to where it said Ephraim, it said Aparyum wa Manasseh or Manashah. So here, Ma na sha ha. And a lot of the words where you see ha at the end, it's I don't want to say silent, but the letter is there. It's like it's silent, but you don't say ha. Like you don't say manasha ha. You just say manesha or manessa, you know. So that's Manessa, and it means, let's see, made to forget. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped one. But woo, dang, woo, Salakia. That's made to forget. And I forgot. So made to to forget. Dang. Oh, if I would be able to, if I figure this out, it might have to be a different app. But if I could figure out how to put text instead of having to write it, so made to forget, Manessa. Oh, this thing this is what's taking up most of the time right here. I forget. I'll just put it right there. So Manessa made to forget, and then I forgot the law. So that's law, and that's going to be for Levi, Lawoya. So here, back in Genesis 35 and 23, Lawoya. Where is that? Right here. La Waya. So right here, La Wa Wa and Ya. Lawoya. And that means join to me. And that's a beautiful that the Levites were named that join to me because that was also their portion for the ministry, the priesthood. They're joined to the Heavenly Father. You know, their part was strictly to take place. You know, taking care of the temple, holding the law. You know, they didn't have an inheritance for land because their portion was with the Lord. So join to me. So next, I only have three more. So the next letter is not na, and that's for Naphtali. And Naphtali means my wrestling. So let me get this real quick. Joseph and Benjamin. We've already been through that. Naphtali. So here, Genesis 35 and 25, and the sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid, Dan and Naphtali. So right here, you see Dan, Wa, Napa, Thal, Ya. So here, Na, Pa, Thal. Oh, hold on, I need some more space. Na, Pa, Pa, Thal. Dang, this is annoying. Na, Pa, dang, Pa, Thal, Ya. and it means my wrestling. And since I only have two more, I'm going to, yeah, I'm still going to shrink that one. That's fine. And it means my wrestling. So the next one is Reuben. That would be for Ra. Or let me try it like this. Ra. Let's see here. Going back to verse 23. And it's, let me see right here. Ra'ah. Ra'ah. Wa. Ban. And it's look a son. And I know I didn't write for Naphtali, but forgive me, Naphtali. That's my wrestling. But this is here is look a son. So Ra'ah, that means to look. And then Ban, son. So look a son. And that's the firstborn of Jacob. And then the last letter here is Shah. So, and that should be in the same right next to it. It says Ra'ah Waban Wa Shammai One. And there's a beautiful brother in the camp named Shammai One. So that means affliction heard. So here, Shah Ma I, and then the Wa. The Na. So Shammai One, affliction heard. And that's now the elder brother, when he showed me this, he didn't go, all along like I just did. He just told me I just go through, list the alphabet, and each letter that has a corresponding tribe to it, I'll just go through each one, and I'll think what pretty much go through each tribe and see, oh, is there a tribe for A? Okay, Asher, Ephraim. For B, Benjamin. G, Gad. D, Dan. Of course, but that doesn't. When we're referring to Revelation 7, it's not. It doesn't even say in the scriptures what happened to the northern or to Dan. But we all know what happened to the northern kingdom. They were scattered. They came into the Americas, but they're not listed in Revelation 7. So, that's something we'll know in the kingdom, what exactly happened to them or whatever. But, just going down to, it's like for the, but just going down the alphabet, going down the alphabet, what letters correspond to what tribe, like I said, each one highlighted that has a tribe corresponding to it. And that helped me to remember. So, Tawada Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Lord willing, this is edifying. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Hey, Shalom.